Welcome to Dirty Fanatics.
Falcon fans, Falcon Nation, DFU is back with another pop-up episode here during your work week. It is a Tuesday night, and DFU is steady bringing you content throughout your draft week. Thursday night, officially, 2 nights away from the Atlanta Falcons changing the roster officially Thursday night. Before we get into the Falcon talk, guys, we have a tremendous amount of special guests here tonight, guys, so it's going to be a long hour episode for all you viewers. So hit that like button, bring the comments to the comment section because, guys, we have some valuable knowledge here on this podcast tonight. Falcon fans, before we get to it, Philip, Robert, Cody, what's going on, man? How you guys been doing? We have a great episode tonight. I cannot wait to get into it.
Been great, man. Had a good little weekend. Sunday night it was a little weird, but we got through it, But other than that, we just trying to fight not getting sick, Some kids
you speak about
sick here lately.
Speaking about Sunday night being weird, you must be talking about the WrestleMania.
Yeah, it was. It was a weird one.
Robert, what's going on, man? Glad to have you here tonight. Knowing you coming off of the surgery, still taking the chance to talk with DFU. Robert, what's going on, man? Glad to have you.
It's good to be here. Got my next surgery scheduled in the morning. A little bit nervous about that, but it's going to be all right. Had a pretty good weekend and just getting ready for Thursday night and seeing who the new Dirty Birds are going to be.
Thursday night, man. First of all, what a month that the DFU has been waiting to come. April, It creeped up on us very quickly. We've talked about it all off season. Now the talks are officially over with. After tonight, the next time you see DFU, the Atlanta Falcons will be making a selection at 15. Cody, with that being said, man, what's going on? A very, very exciting week here to have a podcast. It's Tuesday night, talking Falcon football. Cody, what's going on?
Oh, man, just getting through another work week. I tell you what, 4 a.m. comes awfully early when you have to be at work. But, man, thinking about the draft is getting me through the days. I cannot wait to be with the boys at Mercedes-Benz, getting to watch the draft with y'all, get to enjoy that atmosphere again, just being at home almost, being at home away from home.
Absolutely.
I'm looking forward to it, boys. It's like I was saying in the chat, I am so fired up for this.
Well, guys, I'm telling you, there's special guests steady popping up here in the back. We have a whole entourage of special guests. So why don't we bring out the first special guest of tonight? Let me go ahead and swap the camera slot screen. And we'll go ahead and add ATL Falcon Muse is here with Dirty Fanatics United tonight to talk Falcon football. Falcon Muse, glad to have you here tonight, brother. Appreciate you coming through to talk your Falcon knowledge here with DFU tonight.
Thank you guys for having me. Love talking Falcons football, and of course excited about the NFL draft coming up.
Absolutely. Muse, it's the not first, but second appearance here for Falcon Muse on DFU. So, chat, welcome Falcon Muse to the chat. If you haven't, Falcon Muse, let them know where to check you out at real quick while we're doing the intros.
Yeah, follow me on Twitter at ATL Falcons Muse. It's in the header. And then on YouTube, you can subscribe to me, AR Sports Dynamic. And again, on YouTube, AR Sports Dynamic. All Falcons content. Love the Falcons.
And we have a couple more guests. We'll go ahead and bring in all the special guests that we have right now on backstage. We'll add another special guest, Scott Karisic, over from Twitter. Scott, the number man, is here to talk Falcon football tonight. Scott, what's going on, brother?
Not much, man. Just been one of those weeks where you're waiting for everything to go on. And like Cody says, you got to do a lot of work and then can't focus on anything but the draft while you're working. So you're like, oh, I guess I got to sit here and think about the draft while I'm working.
That's right.
Chat, welcome Scott Karisic to the podcast. We have two more in the back right here. We got Lieutenant Dan, another Twitter Falcon content creator, Lieutenant Dan. What's going on, brother? Glad to have you here tonight.
How's it going, boys? You know, the numbers don't lie. Every pick that gets closer to the Atlanta Falcons pick gives them a 62.3 chance of getting a better selection. Just one after another. Steiner math in here for the Atlanta Falcons as we go. And look, gents, before we really get into it, I just want to say thank you for allowing me onto the show. It's a pleasure and an honor always. I know we're going to have a fantastic night tomorrow.
Absolutely.
It's going to be, 2 nights from now, but we're going to have a fantastic night. It's going to be incredible.
Yes, sir. Lieutenant Dan, I appreciate all you guys that were able to come through tonight. As we have two more sitting in the back right now, Rakondo, a real Falcon fan, is here to talk Falcon football tonight. Falcon fans, if you have a YouTube, if you have a Twitter, you know who Rakondo is, man. Shout out to my guy, Rakondo. Rakondo, we're glad to have you here tonight, brother.
What's going on, fellas? What's going on? I can't wait. Hopefully, we don't get any surprises like we got last year during the draft.
Yeah, that was but Rakondo, that was a good surprise. That was one of those good surprises there towards.
Yes, it really was. Now, looking back, and all the commentary, after the draft for like a week. Now, when you're looking at it, you like, that was a great.
They were wrong. Yeah,
that was a great pick.
That may have saved Terry's job. We'll talk about that here in a few. We have another in the backfield. The Falconator is here to talk Falcon football all the way on the road, headed to Green Bay himself. The Falconator, what's going on, man? Glad to have you here.
Hey guys, how we doing? Appreciate it. Glad for the invite, guys.
Absolutely.
How we doing?
Millie Mills is in the chat with it early with it. Said DFU, what's up? Millie Mills, glad to have you here in the comment section, brother. Hit that like button. Leave a comment as you already have, and hashtag DFU to be entered for the chance to win the free giveaway. Shout out to Robert. We'll go ahead and advertise this real quick. Robert with the free Wart Done giveaway with the hashtag DFU in the chat, man. Be sure to enter that raffle here at DFU, man. Let's take it off from the top, man. We got one more in the back, so if anybody has to slide early, just drop a comment so we can get the special guest in. If you guys have to dip, that's totally cool. However it may be. Starting from the top. We'll go to our comments, our topics, and we're going to start from the top with the Kirk Cousins scenario of today. Breaking news, the Atlanta Falcons announced Kirk Cousins officially showed up today to day one of voluntary OTAs. Falcon Universe did not expect this to happen. Most thought that Kirk Cousins would not attend voluntary OTAs with the situation of not being a starter here in Atlanta, as that has been stated very clearly. Kirk Cousins says, no, I'm better than that. I'm a better teammate. I will show up day one for voluntary OTAs. Robert, kick it off from the top, man. Your thoughts and opinions on it, and let's just rotate this thing around the table.
Well, I'm just as shocked as anybody. I honestly didn't expect it, but it's kind of cool to see him show up. Maybe he's having a change of heart. I don't know. It could be just to maybe, if a trade's still on the table somewhere, maybe making himself look a little more valuable. But, either way, hopefully the drama's going to end soon when it comes to Kirk. If he sticks around, yes, he'll be a solid backup. If he goes, wish him all the best.
Absolutely. Cody, pick that question up for me, dog. Take it around.
Yeah, man. I wasn't necessarily shocked. You just got $10 million from us, March 10th or March, whatever it was. You better show up to practice. And my thing
yet.
Oh, he hadn't hit. I thought
that doesn't get paid till next year. So all it is it's just guaranteed till next year. So whoever trades for him is going to pay that.
It's going to pay it.
Not actually our money.
Oh, good. So that's even better. Well, so good on, it's good on Kirk, man. I know it's easy to boo him and to not be totally in love with Kirk the way that things, ended this year with Kirk. But it's probably definitely more of a thing, to other teams of like, hey, look, I'm a team guy. I'm a good teammate. I show up even when I really shouldn't even have to. So not really surprised, but pleasantly surprised that he's there. So, but I mean, either way, man, it's like good for you, Kirk.
Philip, question goes to you, bro.
I'm going to take a little bit from that. I'm not really surprised. I feel like this is a way from him to – it's like a cooperation thing. Like, hey, I'm here making himself look good.
Yeah.
So other teams will probably, like Cody said, that I am that good teammate, so they will trade for him. I just feel like that's type of situation. I'm not no like hater on Kirk. It is what it is. You screwed yourself in whatever situation we're in, so it is what it is. But
Absolutely.
I just take it. That's what I got from it.
Mr. Dan, Kirk Cousins' appearance in OTAs today. Your thoughts on that?
I don't think there's anything to be surprised about or really even to make it super, super newsworthy. I mean, the guy is most likely going to end up getting traded or sit on the bench until he is traded to a team that's going to want him. Whether that's this, coming weekend during the draft or that's going to be a little bit later during, training camps or so on and so forth. This is a guy that's just showing up to work. He's got a contract. He doesn't want to lose any money. From not showing up to, this is voluntary workouts. This is not anything that he has to necessarily go and do, but he's going to show up. He's going to show up and he's going to show out to teams that are interested to possibly see that, he's out there to work. And that's just how it is. I think it's that probably as plain Jane as that. And I think that maybe we get a little wrapped up in drama ourselves as Falcons fans when we're just like,
absolutely.
Whether you like him or you don't like him, and you put a lot of your money and, so you're like this at this point.
Yes, true.
Yeah, I think you guys all hit it on the nail on the head. Like he's just trying to show he's a team player. He's not a diva, and make him look better to hopefully someone trades for him. I think honestly the Browns might their QB room looks so bad right now. Kenny Pickett, and if he's just showing hey, I'm willing to show up even when I don't have to, maybe it'll make someone more inclined to trade for him. That's about it.
Absolutely. The Falconator, brother, I know you're on the road headed to Green Bay, so I don't want to take up too much of your time with the Kirk Cousins situation. Real quick, I want to get your views on what could happen Thursday night, man. What is your perfection? What is your perfect scenario at 15? If you were the GM Thursday night, who are you taking and who do you want to see walk across that stage?
I've been paying attention, to a lot of the mock drafts to have some good general knowledge of all the picks that were available and whatnot. Of course, we say we got to go defense, but we've been saying that the last couple of years. But I think this is really the time where we've got to go defense. The draft isn't really that great of a draft this year, but it is kind of defensive heavy. I've been looking back and forth, and people going back and forth with Williams and Green, and a lot of people like that. One on top of the other. Some people just like the whole Williams character just because he's from Georgia, but since I'm not a Georgia dog, I kind of just don't really look at it like that. But I've been watching some things on him, and I think both him and Green will be some positive impact players that we really do need. We've been bottom of the barrel on sacks for the last couple of years. And so I think, at 15, unless something crazy happens with some trades that we don't know about, I think we're going to probably go Williams. But I would like to see Green get in there. I've seen a lot more of him on tapes and whatnot on ESPN and things, and just kind of hoping that we go in the Green direction.
Falconator, I know you had the viral moment just a couple years ago with the announcement of the draft pick. Is there perchance another situation where you may just get back on that stage this year?
I would say no, but I'm heading down there. The NFL is actually sending me down for a summit. So we're doing a Superfan Summit panel, and it's non-Falcon related. However, that's what I'm going. I was going anyway, but going down there to take part in that on Friday. So I haven't heard anything from the Falcons as far as being part of the inner circle. But in all reality, that year in Kansas City when I did the pick, I went down to Kansas City without even knowing I was going to do the pick till the night before. So Atlanta Falcons called me on Friday night, and they asked me if I was still in the Kansas City area and if I'd be willing to do a pick for them. So, who knows? I don't know if somebody bowed out or, maybe they'll take another chance or just to have a little reunion and get people going a little bit. But if they call me, I'm ready. So we'll see what happens.
Hey, well, I hope they do call you, brother. Scott, turning the steering wheel to the other direction, going back to the Kirk Cousins debacle. Give me the rumor on the Falcons wanting to acquire any team that acquire Kirk Cousins. This is what broke today. Now, this is just what I'm seeing, and I had the article somewhere on here. I got to find it. I'm not sure where it's even at, but there's an article on here where it says the Falcons wanted any team that acquired a trade for Kirk Cousins to acquire 20 million of that 40 mil that the Falcons had guaranteed to Kirk Cousins. Scott, break that down for the viewers at home, and just give me your opinion on it.
So they said 45 million, but he only has 37.5 million that's unpaid so far. Like all of his guaranteed money has been paid except for this year's salary, and next year's roster bonus was what everybody was freaking out about. But whoever trades for him pays that roster bonus. So who cares, right?
Right.
If the Falcons can get someone to take 20 million, that means they're taking 10 million in base salary this year. That means they're taking that 10 million roster bonus next year. That's not bad for a guy, especially if he looks like a starting quarterback, to pay 20 million for 1 year of a competent starting quarterback in the NFL.
Exactly.
So they're not really asking for too much. And what they can do is a simple cap mechanism where they turn 17.5 million of his current guaranteed salary into signing bonus, and then it's spread over this year and next year. If that's what's going to happen, Kirk is not getting traded till June 1st because they're not going to accept an additional 17.5 million of cap space. They don't have it right now to make that trade until June 1st. They might agree to it this week, but they won't accept it until June 1st. So officially with the league. So yeah, we're probably stuck with Kirk till June if that's the situation. The pick we would get from him is probably not till next year.
So Scott, let me ask you this. I don't mean to interrupt you, but so if you have a Kirk Cousins to a midseason point where it's a team goes down and they desperately need that veteran quarterback that's trying to make that playoff push, does that bring you more value now that this has played out to where Kirk Cousins is a midseason trade and now you have a possibility of saying, hey, you need him and you're going to pay me to get this guy?
Yeah, I mean, that basically turns what they would get back from a 5 to a 4 or a 4 to even 3, depending on who it is. I mean, say it is a team like San Francisco and Purdy goes down and they've got a ton of cap space. They may just say, hey, it's week 2. We don't care that we have to pay Kirk $25 million for the rest of the year. We'll give you a 5. We don't care about the money. We'll take on the rest of his contract, and we'll just go from there. And with how they do things in San Fran, Shanahan's wanted Kirk as his quarterback for years. So Kirk would jump right in, know that scheme, be perfectly fine in it. He probably also gets hurt at some point during the year too, but that's a whole other thing.
Yeah. Hey, Uncle Steve, we finally got you in here, brother. I was able to squeeze the cameras just small enough to get Uncle Steve in the lounge with us. Uncle Steve, glad to have you here tonight, brother. Appreciate you checking in with us.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. And I just want y'all to know, talking about this news, there is some breaking news that just came out.
Okay.
The Oscar for Best Actor in a football uniform is Kirk Cousins, Atlanta Falcons.
Yeah, Kirk.
Listen, folks, let me tell you something. This is all a facade. The Kirk Cousins image is tarnished. He's done a great. He is self-inflicted, and he's done this by himself. I don't think he would have shown up today if he really was looking to look. He has to keep a good image up right now. Showing up today was a positive and a bunch of negatives that's come out to include those 4 games in November. There's nothing else to me. No other reason why he showed up today. I'm sorry. I don't care what anyone says. And Scott, I gotta disagree with you, man. I don't care. That dude, Kyle Shanahan doesn't want has-beens. He's gonna take somebody who he'll take a youngster. The dude took Mr. Irrelevant and went to the Super Bowl and went to the NFC Championship. Why would you want to take a broke Achilles 36, 37-year-old man and take almost 15 to the $20 million and bring him on your team just because you've been trying to get him all this time. No, man. I disagree.
If Purdy is hurt,
sentiment, but I disagree.
if Purdy is hurt, I could see it happening. That's all I'm saying.
So let me
Purdy will have to get hurt.
So this is what I think. This is what I think about Kirk Cousins. I think I'm probably in the minority in this. But since the Falcons did decide to give him that $10 million for next year, and the backup quarterback spot actually, I mean, it dried up. So there's no backups out there. There's no backups quarterbacks out there. I wouldn't care if Kirk Cousins stay here the whole season. I mean, 53 quarterbacks.
Yeah. He's already owed the money.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter.
53 quarterbacks played last year. Like, you know, I'm not saying Michael Penix's going to get hurt, but he's probably the best backup quarterback in the league right now. And he's not going to be a problem in the locker room. He's not. Because just image, like you said, he's trying to keep a good image. He's not going to be a issue in the locker room. And I don't blame the Falcons. They gave him $100 million. Get something for it. They already paid him. I mean, he did damage because he was selfish last year. Apparently, he was hurt, but didn't tell nobody because he was looking over his shoulder because he didn't want Michael Penix to get in the game. And we lost 6 of our last 8 games, and we probably could have went to the playoffs. So, let him sit on the bench, man. Like, I don't care, but he's the best backup quarterback in the league right now.
Absolutely,
I can agree.
And if you look on the market, it's not a good backup quarterback. We're gonna bring Taylor Heineke back. You know,
so the backup.
We did bring back Felipe Franks. I mean, we made that resign.
So
he's a tight end now, though. He's a tight end now.
So for me,
on the market right
unless they can get what they want, let him sit on the bench.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with Kondo. I mean, that is your bet. That is your safest option behind Penix. If Penix was to go down, you have a guy that can win you games in the NFL, and he's already on the contract. You're going to pay him regardless. So why not just let it ride on out? Let's rotate this thing on into the next subject of tonight. Enough with the Kirk Cousins, because hopefully that debacle will be over very soon. The next topic for tonight, and this really isn't a draft subject. It's something I just thought about. I posted a poll the other day on Twitter. Matthew Judon, a guy that was a midseason trade. A lot of Falcon fans wanted more out of Matthew Judon, but he still came in at a midseason trade and pretty much led in sacks for a team of like 5 or 6 sacks. It's not great numbers, but he still led your team in sacks for that season. A team that desperately needs pass rush. Does Matthew Judon make a team-friendly deal and sign with the Atlanta Falcons, or is Matthew Judon walking on out of the Atlanta after a 1-year deal?
Tough.
Run it up.
He's going to walk. He's going to get more money elsewhere. The Falcons are probably going to only offer him around $1 or $2 million.
But my thing about that, Scott, is why is it taking so long? Why is Matthew Judon such a late signing?
Come back.
Wait, after the draft.
Very little money, sure. But also, if the Falcons don't take a guy in the first round at edge rusher, because you got to look at it from a snaps perspective. Right now, you've got 4 guys penciled in your edge rusher rotation. Floyd, sorry, let me get my fingers in here. Floyd, Ebiketie, and then you've got Trice, and then the first round pick.
Yep.
And then your 5th guy on the roster is Malone, and Kareem. They're like fighting for time. Now, Malone and Kareem are special teamers. They're not really much value outside of that. Is Judon going to be willing to play special teams? Is Judon willing to play the 4th man in that rotation and rotate with Trice while Trice is healing up? I don't think he is. So in that case, he's going to have a better opportunity elsewhere. I think it's more likely he retires than comes back.
Well, it was a thing when Judon came to Atlanta. One of his and this was a slogan I remember strictly him saying, "I got to come to Atlanta and earn that contract." Does Judon believe he's earned a big time contract off of 5 to 6 sacks? I don't believe so. I think somebody.
He'll get 4 million.
And you're probably right. Somebody will probably hand the bag over quicker than the Falcons would. But anybody else want to interfere
free
on that?
agency started months ago.
Mm-hmm.
And we still have not seen Matthew Judon even get like a mini deal. I'm not talking about the Falcons. I'm talking about everyone. He's a free agent. He is on the block. People can talk to him right now. He has not signed with anyone. So the draft is the process in which people are going, and then we'll use Judon as a filler for every other team. That's including the Falcons. So I think the Falcons actually have a leg up here in the idea that if they, kind of what Scott was saying, if they decide, let's go BPA here in the first round, somebody falls, something becomes obtainable that would not have been, or a trade option happens, the Falcons fall in love with someone, they're going to take somebody like that, or you know, everybody loves the trade down option as well. Any of those scenarios, I'm not going into them. If you pick any of that, Judon becomes more obtainable. Because you gave a third round pick so you could obtain this guy, see if you had the juice in the tank. Now you haven't slammed that door shut. In fact, that door is literally as open as it was when he walked out of the building. So it is completely and totally possible for this player to come back. And this is why the Floyd thing is so interesting. You picked up Floyd, but you let go of Carter. By metric, that's the same player. Literally, by all metrics, that's the same exact player. Whether you want to PFF it or you want to data mine it, it's the same player. It's the same player. It's the same exact player from a statistic standpoint. It's the same player that they're going to use as a run stopper, that standpoint. And even if you want to say, okay, Floyd is a better pass rusher than Lorenzo Carter, numbers don't lie. Check scoreboard. They had similar sack numbers. Floyd's was a little bit better, but it's not moving your needle. That's not changing the defense. So it's the same thing with bringing Judon back in here. It's not going to change anything for you. It is a backup option at best. So if you don't go pass rush your first round to find the premier guy, then we're going to talk about Judon coming back in here.
So Dan, the main question is, do the Atlanta Falcons think that Leonard Floyd is an upgrade over Lorenzo Carter?
The door's open. The door is open. Unless they take a first round option, the door is completely open for Lorenzo Carter. That's why they gave up the compensation to be able to go and get him. Have that door open to say that is the gesture we're giving you. That was the only way we were going to get him in the first place anyway.
Just to throw this out there, Floyd is probably playing Judon's old role, where Carter's old role is actually going to be played by like Braylon Trice.
Right.
So that's how I'm looking at
that. That might be semantics when you're talking about vets versus a freshly injured rookie coming off, because you're talking about Raheem Morris playing rookies. That barely happens like at all. That's not to dispute you. That's just to say that from what we have in front of us, not projecting something that we don't have, only what we have currently in our hands. Trice will barely get playing time because he's going to get slowly integrated into this. They're not going to throw him out on the field and have him play. And so there you go. You're going to have Floyd take most of those snaps. You're going to have AK take most of those snaps. That's going to be great.
So Dan, it's interesting you say that, but if you look at this roster, and I've been saying this, you look at this roster, it's imperative that those young guys play this year. They have no choice. Those young guys
like
got
2016.
They got development. They can't. They got to play. I know you say he don't like to play young guys, but he has.
They made a choice. They got Floyd.
I'm talking about across the whole line. Those young guys are playing this year. They have no choice, man.
Yeah.
The young guys that we're talking about is just Trice.
Are you talking about, okay, you're just talking about just Trice.
You're saying just edge, but we're talking like
if we're talking edge specifically, we're talking about the Trice. That's it. That's all we have.
Edge specifically, you've got Trice and you've got Ebiketie as your young guys. Ebiketie's just getting into
Ebiketie's not a young guy anymore. At this point, he's playing to stay on this roster. Like he wants to be part of this rotation and keep a job.
He's in the contract.
He's been here for a hot minute. It's not anymore. We can't put that crown on that anymore. We can't put that tag on that anymore. He's a young guy, age-wise, yes, but he's been here and done little. So it hasn't changed. Nothing has changed here.
It takes 3 to 4 years for your second, third, fourth round edge rushers to really get into that rhythm to get to that full.
Which only plays into the whole Trice thing, not getting a lot of reps right off the rip. If they don't take that first round guy, then you are playing Floyd and you're bringing back Judon and you are washing it like they did last year.
And that's where this falls. And that's where this falls.
Into the original question that Chase actually had, and that's Judon. I was kind of on the board where you were going with it, Lieutenant Dan. I was a little bit with you. I just taken it from a different perspective. You're going to have two different players in the NFL. You're going to have the player that plays the first 4 years, get the big contract, and then after that, they're going to be 1 year, 2 year, 1 year, 2 year. Judon is that person. He got his big contract a couple of years ago. Right now, what benefit do you have signing Judon, or what benefit does Matthew Judon have by signing in April? That means he has to go to mandatory camps. That means he has to go to things in the summer. Right now, Judon is in the catbird seat, and Justin Simmons. Not suggesting he's going to be here either, but neither one of those guys have to do anything right now. They're free agents. They can sit out in their early 30s. They can wait to the last minute. We didn't get Simmons until right before training camp. We didn't get Judon until, and I know he was a different situation because he was holding out, but we didn't. There's no rush to get them. I agree with you. If you can get Judon for less than, they're showing his market value on Sport Track for $4.5 million. I think that's a bargain. For a veteran pass rusher, we can sneeze at 6 sacks, but in Atlanta, that's Ring of Honor right now. So we'll take anything that can help us out as far as our players are concerned. So I do agree for the actual answer to the question, Chase. I'd let Judon fill out what he needs to fill out, and if he's still available and we can get him for less than about $4 million, I'd take him in a heartbeat.
That's kind of the route I'm facing, because when it comes to rotation, if you have a guy that can get 5 to 6 sacks a season, that's a piece that you could have on a defense and be a sack defense, a team that we haven't seen since the John Abraham days, and that's why I think everybody's leaning towards this Mike Green situation. But there was some talk that the Falcons were talking to an offensive tackle very heavily, a guy from Texas, I believe it was. I can't give you the name because I'm very bad with draft prospect names, I'll be honest with you. But could the Atlanta Falcons, if they go the scenario Lieutenant Dan was just speaking on, they keep the Leonard Floyd, they go with the Lorenzo Carter or the Matthew Judon, and they go grab their offensive tackle for the future. Is that a move that the Atlanta Falcons can make? Because, guys, let's be honest, it's been very hard to predict a Falcon draft pick the last 3 to 4 years. And, I mean, kind of knew they was going Bijan, but you didn't know if they were going defense as well. So is there a chance the Falcons draft offensive tackle Thursday night at 15?
Yeah, absolutely, man. It's the Atlanta Falcons. I mean, that's straight out of our draft playbook, man. I mean, you think we're going to fix a problem that we've had for 15 years, and you go get a fucking tight end, or you think that you're going to go get somebody at defense that's going to fix your secondary, and then we go and pull a running back or a wide receiver. Now, I'm not knocking the Bijan draft pick. I'm not knocking Drake London. Fantastic picks. Glad they're here. But again, we're still talking about John Abraham. This is a guy that I used to watch in high school. I'm 35 now. And we're still talking about John Abraham being the premier pass rusher in Atlanta. It's time that we're not talking John Abraham. I love John Abraham. John Abraham was one of my favorite players all time. 55 is the man. I wore 55 because of John Abraham, but I'm tired of saying our best pass rusher was John Abraham. We have got to address the defensive pass rush and getting the quarterback on the ground. We've had this problem for 15, 16, however many years it's been since John has been here. But would I be shocked to see us draft a tackle? Absolutely not, because that's something that the Falcons do. I agree. Jake Matthews is getting long in the tooth. He's been here since what? Since 08, 09?
2014.
2014. He's been here. He's been here forever.
Yes.
And eventually his time will come up. His knees, his knees are going to start getting bad. I still think he's one of the best tackles in the National Football League. I still think he's got years. But again, that would not surprise me if you see the Atlanta Falcons do something like that. It's what we've done. It's what we've done for 15, 16 years. We take the guy that we probably should wait till next year to go get, and then instead of addressing, our
Falconator Thursday night. Yes, offensive tackle walks across the stage. How we feeling, brother?
Oh, I mean, I guess it'll be deja vu from like last year. I mean, when they picked Mike Penix last year, I mean, not only were Falcon fans in shock, it was the whole entire draft was in shock, and naturally we all got stared. I mean, I was in my attire, so I mean, people were just looking at me like, "What's going on? What happened? What are you guys thinking?" I mean, some people were trying to embrace me, and some people were trying to make sure I didn't have any sharp objects that I could hurt myself with. But I mean, it was we were all in awe and dumbfounded. But so it's like you guys said. I mean, we never know what the Falcons are going to do. I really think, though. I mean, I don't want to say front management is on the hot seat, but they really need to get some defense on that team to keep some, not to really keep people in the seats, but just for people to back them a little bit more, because they are kind of on the hot seat. So yeah, they don't go defense this time. They're gonna have some explaining to do come training camp time with the fans for sure. So.
Falcon Muse, if the Falcons drafted offensive tackle draft night, how are you feeling about that, brother? Is there any offensive tackle maybe that you've looked at, you've studied this leading up to this draft, or would that completely surprise you?
No, that would be a terrible move. I think Caleb McGarry's pretty underrated by the fan base. Like he is not the best, not even close to the best player on our line, but just any mistake that he makes, like the fan base jumps on him. He's a great run defender. He played pretty well this year. Obviously, when you're blocking next to an All-Pro and Chris Lindstrom, you're gonna look worse. But like, I trust him to block for Penix and Jake Matthews. We don't need to upgrade over him right now. So in a draft when we have such few picks, it just makes no sense to me if we did go tackle here, especially when, as Cody's been saying, like, man, we do not have a premier edge rusher. We haven't had one since that fake Vic Beasley season. Like, we need a edge rusher so badly, man. And this is a pretty good edge class, honestly. Mike Green could fall to us. Jalen Walker, Michael Williams, they could all be there. So if we go tackle, that's just a terrible, terrible pick.
So Muse, you don't like tackle at 15?
No, and maybe if we trade down, but I just don't think we should draft tackle at all in this draft.
Scott, you see your finger up?
Yeah, I have a different take on this.
Okay.
I think
would you take Nolan at 15? Let's just go ahead.
I'm gonna keep myself on for this one.
I'm just gonna throw this out there. It's never a bad idea to take an offensive lineman in the first round.
Okay.
Because of how important the position is and how important keeping your quarterback healthy is. It's never a bad idea to take an offensive lineman in the first round.
I agree somewhat to that.
If the Falcons take an offensive lineman this year, it's going to be after a trade down, and it's going to be a guy like Gray Zabel at center. And then 25, say they trade down with the Texans, pick up a third, pick up a fourth, and then they get Gray Zabel. That would be more of what would happen for the offensive line side. They've been doing their research on Zabel in the background, so don't count that out. They do need a center. They do like Ryan Newsel, but Newsel's 30 years old, right? And he's just now becoming a starter. So, again, don't count that out. The other thing I could see them doing, and it's not defensive tackle, it's linebacker. Say a guy like Jahad Campbell is there at 15.
That's a good pick.
Dan's BPA idea, guy that they're not expecting to be there because they're expecting him at the latest to go to the Colts. If Jahad Campbell is there, I could see them taking Campbell and saying, hey, Caden Ellis is now a strong outside linebacker in base. He's now an edge rusher / movable chess piece for us to use in nickel. And we don't have a true number one edge, but we have 6 guys that can play and get 5-6 sacks. So that's the other way I could see them going about it. Instead of saying, like, hey, Ellis is a pure middle linebacker, because Ellis sucks in coverage. Jahad Campbell's really friggin' good in coverage. So if you put Campbell in there, it gives you that ability to move Ellis to that more, hey, all you're doing now is run defending and rushing the passer. That's your new role. Ellis is our Campbell's our Mike. So that's the only other way I could see that happening.
Anybody else want to feed off of that?
I agree with him about the offensive lineman. It's never a bad idea, but the Atlanta Falcons cannot afford. They just can't afford it, man. They don't have a 5 pick.
Not yet.
That's one pick I can say honestly I have not seen on a mock draft, but that does not mean it could not happen.
Right. I mean, they got 2 7-round picks, so technically they only really got 3 picks, man. Now if they trade back, just like Scott just said, I maybe can see it, but I just don't see it. This year I do believe they're gonna go defense, but I believe it's gonna be Shamar Stewart. If he's there, I know everybody. I don't know a lot of people don't like it, but I don't think it's going to be
Scott
Mike
hates
Green.
it. I've seen it all over Twitter. Scott hates it.
Yeah, I see why.
I don't think it's Mike Green either. I don't think it's Mike Green either. Just because
I don't think it's going to be Mike Green. I think it is going to either be the Pierce from Tennessee.
It won't be Pierce because of off field, man. He is uncoachable.
Well, how about? Well, let me ask you this. What if the Atlanta Falcons select Donovan Edge out of Boston College at 50?
Ezeraku? Now you're in my backyard. See, if
awesome.
you get Ezeraku, now you got a guy that's going to kill people. All right, but it'll be heavily criticized because it will be considered slightly a reach. It should be
correct.
Trade down to
25. Yeah, there you go.
Trade down to 25
to 30.
Well, this latest mock draft by CBS Sports has the Falcons selecting Donovan Ezeraku at 15.
It's rich, but you will come out with the edge rusher that the Buccaneers want.
Did they say final at the top? Because sometimes these guys are doing these mocks for Huddle Report, and their idea is Falcons trade down. And then they're going to get Donovan Ezeraku, and that's in their mind, but they don't publish it that way. Okay. So they might have Michael Williams at like 25.
Let me ask Uncle Steve a question real quick because I didn't get his feedback on the offensive tackle. If the Atlanta Falcons select offensive tackle at 15, Uncle Steve, how are we feeling about that pick? Is this a season where to you it is a must to grab that defense just because of the lack, therefore, of draft picks? Or is it where you look at the future? What could this team be with a Michael Penix Jr.? Because we've talked about Penix, just a little bit of what we've seen last year. But to have that Michael Penix that has had those injuries in the past, you have to have that offensive line. So, Steve, how are we feeling about an offensive tackle in the first round?
I would be mad.
Absolutely. I absolutely would be. I'm just trying to look for the positive. Any kind of positive.
I'm going to tell you this. This for the first time in a few years, I've heard Arthur Blank when he was at the Combine, and I'm sure you guys remember this interview he just had recently. This is the first time I've heard him give his opinion about what they should do in the draft specifically. And he said specifically, we need defense. And unlike other years, but here's the thing. Have we ever? I agree wholeheartedly, but we have never heard him vocalize this publicly. We've heard him stay out of business. He didn't give any opinion about the Bijan pick. He gave no opinion up front about the Penix pick. He gave no opinion about the Drake London pick. Nothing. This is the first year I've heard that. In his interview, he said Terry Fontenot knows that we got to get things right, and he wasn't happy. Mm-hmm. And he also said we need defense. Chase, I don't think they're going to play around. It's going to be one of the guys that we're talking about. It's going to be Nolan. It's going to be Green. It's going to be Stewart. It's going to be the guy that you guys were talking about as Ezeraku. I was, as y'all were talking about that, I actually was on CBS, and they're showing at the updated mock drafts for 2 of their guys, Ryan Wilson and Chris Trapasso. They have on one him going to the Washington Commanders at 29, and on the other one, he's not even on the list as far as getting
Correct.
picked. So
I'm reading fake articles, people. I'm live on the podcast reading fake articles.
The dudes
Yeah.
on the Stock Exchange podcast, Trevor Sikkema and those guys who do a lot of the draft content and things of that nature,
Right.
like diving in really, really deep. I mean, they're going 7 rounds, man. And
wow.
they have Ezraku's sweet spot anywhere from 14 to 25. Because there's they are saying the pass rushers are going to go a lot sooner than people expect them to. In fact, actually, the second group of pass rushers that we expect to trickle into the first couple of picks in the second round, they're going to be gone in the first round. So the guys that you thought were going to be there, they're not going to be there at all.
Yeah, Nick Morton's going to go in the first. Probably, he's a great fit
because you have Cam Ward. Let's name the quarterback prospects and the teams that need quarterbacks in the first top 10. How many quarterbacks are going into the top 10?
2.
At least
1,
2.
3.
I see 2 or 3.
He's going to do something stupid.
Look at that right here.
Top 10. How many quarterbacks?
I'm going with
This
3.
year?
Maybe 2. Maybe 2.
2.
Maybe.
Okay.
Maybe
2025.
Top 10. Top 10.
Maybe
Yeah,
2.
top 10.
Top 10. 3 quarterbacks. Did I hear that?
No, it's not 3.
3 quarterbacks.
One guy is going in the top 10.
I'm telling you, it's going to be Ward going number 1.
Cam Ward at Tennessee.
The Giants going Shedeur Sanders at 3. Because if you look at the contract situation, again, follow the money.
I can
Look
see
at the
it.
contract situations.
The Saints take
Giants
Jackson
have
Dart.
2 guys on a 1-year deal.
Right.
So
And
they-
Arch Manning coming out next year. Go ahead.
Arch ain't coming
Yeah,
out.
but that GM and that
Arch going to do 4 years.
are not going to be there with that idea of, we can just take Arch Manning next year. If they're in position to take Arch Manning next year, that GM and that coach are fired. So they're going to take Shedeur because that is a quarterback panic move. And then I think the Saints, because they panicked and go, oh no, he's not going to be there at our next pick,
They
take
take
Jackson Dart at 9. And then just to throw this out there, because he's a great fit for what they do in Pittsburgh, Pittsburgh's going to take Milrow.
Sheesh, Miller. I've
heard that already. Yeah, that's a good take.
I forget about Miller. Uncle Steve, collaborate with me real quick, homie. Why do you think it's only 1 quarterback? So if let's say the Giants don't go quarterback at 2, Abdul Carter, are we thinking Abdul Carter there at 2, or are you thinking a different direction?
I think you'll see Abdul Carter go to Cleveland. Then I think you're going to see New York get Travis Hunter. I think Travis Hunter right now is the most versatile athlete right now, and probably in the last few years. I think he'll end up being that number 3 pick. The only reason I don't think the Giants are going to go Shedeur right now is that you just invested. They got Jameis Winston. Folks, let me tell you something, and this is not a promotion for crab legs. This is something telling you that for the money they're paying Jameis Winston, I disagree with y'all about Kirk Cousins. I think Jameis Winston might be the best backup in the NFL, and they're getting him for pennies on the dollar this year. We're not expecting him to come in and start, but y'all remember last year when he wasn't throwing to pick sixes, he was throwing for 400, 300 yards last year in games. That's the best backup in the game.
Fans call me
with
crazy
Russell
because I thought it was
Russell
good.
Wilson there, you can take your time. You can develop some of these young guys on the Giants, and then by next year, when you have an opportunity to not only get a couple of free agent quarterbacks next year, I don't think Arch Manning is going to stick around for 4 years. I don't care what the Neal situation is. I think he's going to come out after his 3rd year and do his thing. But Cam Ward is the only person that I see going in the first round. I mean, top 10, unless Pittsburgh jumps into the top 10 and get a quarterback. That's the only way I see more than one.
I'm telling you,
that love fest with Shedeur is absolutely ridiculous, folks.
Browns and Giants both fielding trades for the number 2 and number 3. So this is early into the week. Obviously, smoke screen possible, but
yeah. And then Adam Schefter said that the Browns said they was gonna pick Travis Hunter. So it's smoke screen starting to come now. We are going to be it's starting to the news starting to come out. So yeah. I think Shedeur going in the top 10 somewhere. In the top 10.
So let's ask Mr. Robert. Robert, how many quarterbacks do you prospect to go in the top 10? You got 2, 3, 1. What you think is going to happen?
Honestly, I think only 2 are going to go. I think it'll be Cam Ward and Shador. It's kind of hard to say where Shador might land. I mean, the Giants, and y'all have touched on this. I mean, the Giants have proven in the last few years since Eli Manning's been gone that they're always in panic mode when it comes to their draft picks. I could see Shador in New York, but in all honesty, I mean, and like Steve said, I mean, Pittsburgh could, jump into the top 10 and, want a quarterback too. Shador's name's been linked to Pittsburgh. But honestly, outside of those 2 quarterbacks, I really don't see anybody else going in the top 10.
Falcon Muse, you want to collaborate on that? How many quarterbacks you got projected in the top 10?
Yeah, I agree completely with what Uncle Steve was saying. I think 1 quarterback, and if I do think Travis Hunter falls to the Giants, and then like Scott was saying that the GM's fighting to save his job, but Travis Hunter is the best player in the draft. If you get him at 3, your job is safe. If he's there at 3, of course, he might go at 2. But if you get him at 3, then your job is pretty much safe for the next year. And then Winston, it's fun football, more fun than anything else you could get that's not in the draft. And then if the Giants don't take him, I don't think the Saints will take a quarterback at 9. I think they'll go Tet, but we'll see. They could definitely go quarterback and take Shador at 9, but I just don't see that happening. So I think 1 quarterback in the top 10.
So a team that we keep forgetting about because I believe they did make a signing here in the offseason quarterback, the Las Vegas Raiders. What route would the Las Vegas Raider take in the first? They're like number 6, I believe it is. Yeah, they're 6.
Ashton Jeanty.
Yeah, they take
running back.
Yeah, I think Jeanty for sure.
They love Jeanty. I'm in a group chat with a bunch of different guys that like write for all these teams, all the beat writers and shit. And the Raiders guys are so excited for Jeanty to be there at 6. Like they're expecting him to be there at 6. And if he's not, they've got like 2 trade downs they're planning on.
So they're still hurting from getting rid of Josh Jacobs too, Scott, just to follow up on that. They didn't realize how much better they were having a dependable running back in that Las Vegas backfield. And with him gone, they haven't had legitimate running back.
Who was their quarterback signing? Didn't they sign a quarterback this offseason?
Geno
Smith.
That's
right.
But
I wouldn't put it past them at quarterback either if Shador's there.
Yeah.
Just because the whole Tom Brady connection. Say Jeanty goes at 5 because the Bears trade up to 5 and take Jeanty. I could see them taking Shador there if he's there.
Even the Jets. So who was the Jets?
I mean, there's smoke that the Jaguars want Jeanty
Justin
too.
Fields.
That's right.
Fields.
That's right. I forgot about that.
New Orleans thinks they're getting.
So let's for the record, let's just go and say, I hope the Aints don't draft a quarterback. I hope they stay where they're at. Let Carr come back. We don't want
Spencer Rattler.
Yeah, we don't want the Saints to draft a quarterback. Let them stay where they're at, man. Like
I'm not worried if they do.
Don't wish that. Don't wish that, man.
Before we get out of here, we're almost at our hour mark. But go ahead, Muse.
I said if they take Dart sucks, so I'm fine with that.
Yeah. I think they take Dart, and Dart sucks.
That's good. Yeah, let's do that.
He's terrible, so that's fine.
I'd laugh.
Before we get out of here, I want everybody to go around the table and give me your perfect draft scenario at 15. Give me your number 1 guy if the Falcons sit at 15 and he would so happen to be on the board. Who would that player be? Robert, start it off and give your shout outs around the table as you go.
Let's see, my perfect draft scenario, even though he might not be coming to us, I've kind of got my heart set on Mike Green. After seeing him at the Senior Bowl, I'm convinced this kid's NFL ready. I think he'd be a great asset to us. And to touch on what Cody was saying earlier, we need a pass rusher. And we're not trying to forget John Abraham. We just want some fresh blood in here to get the fans excited. But I'm really hoping for Mike Green. I'd be okay with Mykel Williams. I'm, being a Georgia Bulldogs fan, that would tickle me to death as well. But it's good good to meet all you guys for the first time tonight. I'm glad y'all can make the show. Shout out to Chase, Cody, and Philip for letting me be a part of this. It means a lot to me. Shout out to our viewers, our subscribers. Without you guys, this isn't possible. Shout out to the good Lord above, and shout out to my family, Brianna, Peyton, Zach, and Christy. I love you all, and as always, rise up.
Rise up.
Rise up, Mr. Robert.
Rise up.
Cody.
Hey, I was say, yeah. So, perfect dream scenario. Falcons stay put at 15. They take Mike Green. We finally get some kind of pass rush inside Mercedes-Benz and on the road. We find a way to get a quarterback on the ground. We're no longer cellar dwellers with this having 15 sacks or, our top, sack getter being 5-6 sacks. We've got a guy in double digits. We've got a guy that, rushes a quarterback. That way we don't have the instances that we've had with, the likes of, Dobbs in Arizona, a game we should have won a couple of years ago with, the list goes on. I would say the Falcons stay put at 15. None of this offensive tackle crap. None of this, hey, we're going to go get a tight end or wide receiver, or stay put at 15. Go get Mike Green. Go get you a guy who can get you the quarterback on the ground, and let's be done with it, and let's go forward. Like to Robert's point, we don't want to forget John Abraham. Love John Abraham. Awesome dude, great football player, but we need somebody else to talk about rush of the quarterback. But other than that, guys, it was great having you all on the show, man. I always say it's always good to get, a bunch of Falcon fans together, with different opinions, different thoughts, people that know the money, people, that, y'all impress me with your draft knowledge. I would say I have such a hard time paying attention to college football unless it's Georgia. So to have you guys come on and talk about these other guys is great for me and my, kind of learn about these other players. So shout out to you guys. Shout out to our viewers, of course, watching. Shout out to the wife out there watching. Can't wait to go spend a little bit of time with her. Guys, I cannot wait for Thursday. Football is a hell of a drug, and it just keeps getting closer, man. It just, I feel it, man. Just football's right around the corner again. But other than that, guys, rise up.
Rise up, Mr. Cody. Philip, Mr. Avitz, glad to have you here tonight, brother. Shout outs for tonight, brother. And who would be your perfect draft scenario at 15?
Probably won't happen, but I'm addressing the defensive tackle. I'm going with Mason Graham. It probably won't happen, but it's a guy that it probably won't happen. But
he's going in the top 10, man.
I know. Like we said,
it's like me saying I want Abdul Carter. Like I totally get it.
Hey, like that's just the perfect scenario in my head. You know what I mean?
That's fair. That's fair.
It'd be something that would be beautiful to address that need. But as always, shots. I can't even talk now about it. Got too excited. Shout out to the Lord above, man. Without him, we wouldn't be doing this, man. Thankful to be doing this. I'm ready to go Thursday night, have a good time with the boys, and see what the shocker is. See if it's happy or if it's just ready to see. I'm gonna be happy either way, even though I'm dying inside. But as always, man, always rise up. And Thursday.
Rise up, brother. Lieutenant Dan, man, it's a pleasure to have you on the show. Glad you was able to stop by short notice. I mean, it was today I hit you up. Lieutenant Dan, man, who do you take at 15, brother? And shout outs for tonight.
Well, I just wanted to quickly say over to either my left or my right, whichever he's part of the screen, but he was talking about Mason Graham, and I just heard from some of the dudes that are currently on the Rich Eisen show that Tet at 5 to Jags. And Mason Graham is usually the guy that gets always slotted at 5. So maybe Mason Graham does fall and maybe, maybe Philip gets his shot there. But my perfect scenario, Donovan Ezeraku. I'd take Donovan Ezeraku there at 15. You can go with Michael Williams. You could go with Mike Green. Ezeraku, you could go with James Pierce Jr., whatever, edge guy that you want to put out there. But you're looking for Falcons identity right now, and you're looking for a tone setter that's going to do a lot of great things for you and also potentially play some linebacker as well. So I would go with Ezeraku. I just think he's a clean tackler, guy that has just as many forced fumbles as Mike Green had last year. I had only, a sack less than Mike Green last year. 4 tackles less than Mike Green last year. He's literally on that same coattail there. So I that's what I would do specifically. Shout outs to you guys for inviting me over and let me come on here and be able to talk to some absolutely fantastic people. I mean, I've met a couple of you guys and gals before, but I really appreciate all of you guys coming through and having a good chat about some things and kind of getting ready for what's going on up next. In fact, actually, I'll break it on this podcast right here. My wife and I are expecting our first child in September.
Hey, congratulations.
So I appreciate it. Team boy all the way.
Yes, sir.
So,
Future Falcon.
hey, I've got it ready. But things are about to get real busy. And things are about to change a lot for my life. So this is one of the last couple of major podcasts that I'm gonna jump on here and there. I will not have the availability whatsoever, but when I do, I'll post what I can and do what I can and hit us up UNGR_show on Twitter and Instagram, man.
Absolutely. Lieutenant Dan, pleasure, brother. Glad to have you here tonight. Could not thank you enough. Falcon Muse, once again, brother, glad to have you here tonight. Perfect selection at 15 and your shout outs to close out the show.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for having me. And I'm going to switch it up a little bit. I think my perfect pick would be Jalen Walker. I know a lot of people are mocking him to the Panthers, so I don't know how likely this is, but we've hit on this before. We can move Caden Ellis to a full-time pass rusher. He can play edge. I think he led our team in pressures last year, so that'd be a lot better. And then no one really knows if Jalen Walker's going to play inside, outside. So we kind of have him in that hybrid Frankie Luvu role. He can do everything for us. And I think he'd be a really nice piece for our offense. And then we get that pass rusher because Caden Ellis is moving to pass rushers. So I think he could do a lot of good things for our defense, and it would be really cool. And we do need to address linebacker because we lost Nate Landman. And then, as we said, Caden Ellis is not good in coverage. So we really need to move off of him there. And then I think for shout-outs, I'll do shout out you guys. Thank you again for inviting me. And it's awesome meeting all these Falcons fans, talking football. I love doing that. I could do it forever. So it was awesome talking with you guys.
Absolutely. Muse, thank you once again, brother. Ricondo, late, short notice for you as well, brother. Glad for you to stop through and talk some Falcon football, man. It's always a pleasure to have you on DFU. Ricondo, perfect draft scenario at 15, brother. Who you got for me?
So I'm going to be a little different as well, and I'm going to say I don't want to be disappointed. So whatever good defenders be there at number 15, that's what I hope the Falcons get. I'm just going to say that because, I mean, if you're looking at the draft, it's not like one guy they be like, they got to get that guy. I think if any of those guys there are Mike Green or Michael Williams, Shamar Stewart, Will Johnson. I mean,
that was my dog.
What about Starks? We haven't mentioned Starks.
Malachi Starks.
Straight down.
The cornerback from Texas. I mean, anywhere because those are needs as well. Like I know everybody keep talking about the pass rush, but we still need. I think we still need a corner. I think we need a nickel corner still. We need linebackers. Somebody mentioned linebackers. So Campbell, is he there? I don't think Walker is going to be there. But any of those defenders that's there, I won't be mad. We can get pass rush, yes, but if any of those other defenders be there, I'll be good with that. So
it's almost like a continuing statement. I've heard a lot of Falcon fans say this year. Long as you get one of those guys at 15, the Falcons would be happy. So yeah, absolutely, Ricondo, I agree with you 100%. Long as you pick a defensive player this draft, I think you win, regardless of which way you go.
Yeah, I think 15 is a sweet spot. And man, what I really want to shout out, man, just the Falcon family, man. Like we forgotten on national media. They don't talk about the Falcons a lot. I think we do like the laughing joke or whatever. But just to come on here and to talk with all the Falcon fans, a lot of us people don't know that, and we know our football, and we diehard fans. Because we ain't got nothing to be celebrating about. The Falcons have hurt our hearts so many times. So for us to come out here and talk about Atlanta Falcons, man, I appreciate you guys, man. And thank you for having me on. And like you said, you can find me on Twitter, Ricondo Real Falcon Fan. I do a podcast. I've been doing it for 5 years now. So love talking Falcon football with everybody.
Condo, pleasure, man. Glad to have you here tonight, brother. Anytime you are available, DFU has an open slot. Scott Karisic, glad to have you here tonight, man. I've been trying to get you on the show the last few weeks now. It finally happened. Scott here on DFU. Glad to have you here tonight, brother. Potential perfect pick at 15. Who you got?
I mean, I'm kind of with Recondo. Just get me a good defender. But my ideal pick at 15 is Jahad Campbell. Now, I will say it could very easily be Mike Green. It could very easily be Mykel Williams. I don't think Mykel's going to be there. I think he goes top 10. But I do think that Mike Green, from everything I'm hearing, the stuff that happened to him in college and high school was more it happened to him versus anything else. So, it's like NFL teams have cleared him. Almost every NFL team has cleared him of any wrongdoing on that. And they've got way better resources than we do. So he's on the Falcons board. They love him. If he's there at 15, I could easily see him being the pick.
Yeah.
So for me, Mike Green, Mykel Williams, Jahad Campbell, if they go defensive tackle, like a Kenneth Grant, like a true big one tech would be great. Someone like that, I could see any of those being a pick. I could see them trading down and going with one of the safeties that's falling to 20 to 25 range, like a Emin or a Starks. I could see them taking Barron out of Texas as a nickel corner. I could see them taking Will Johnson if he's there. There's a lot of ways they can go. There's a lot of units they could hit. And honestly, as long as they hit one of those units and they're all on defense, I'm happy. And just to throw this out there, if they trade down real far, to the top of the second and take a center, I'm okay with that too. So, but again,
a lot of ways it could play out.
Because you can always go with a Princely Uman at 46, who I think is the best pass rusher in this draft, and have him and take your center there, and then you've got two starters at the top of the second, and that could also work for a lot of people. So,
boys,
the fan base, man, this fan base is unreal.
Yes, sir.
Boys, could you imagine that happen? We're live at Mercedes-Benz and we don't even get to announce a pick for the show.
That would be tough. That'd be my first draft party.
Hey, man, I didn't get it to the point in my mind. I'm just there to have a good time.
That's right.
I'm just there to have a good time. It is what it is.
Scott, let the fan base know where they can find you at, brother.
You can find me on Twitter at Karasic S. You can find me I've got a Substack as well. I post my draft thoughts and everything. I'll be doing a scouting report on every single guy they picked this year. So you'll see my views on all of them. And if I've already done one of them, I'm going to go ahead and just repost that out. But I purposely have not published my scouting reports on a couple of guys because I'm this guy's going to be the pick.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, no, it's this guy. Oh, wait, no, it's this guy. There's a lot of different guys that are this is the guy. So I'll post those out.
Scott, we appreciate you, brother. Glad to have you here tonight, man. Uncle Steve, always, man, it's definitely a pleasure to have you here on the podcast. Your perfect draft pick at 15, brother. Obviously, there's so many ways this draft could go. If the Falcons traded down and grabbed that draft capital they lost throughout the season for the Kirk debacle, or if the fact that the Falcons stay at 15 and do grab that pass rusher that the Atlanta Falcon fans desperately want. Steve, what's the move Thursday night, brother? What you got?
Yeah, the planned move would probably be Mike Green. I think that something that I'm a little bit more sure of a product coming out of college. Listen, whether it's Marshall, Slippery Rock, or wherever, if you can sack the quarterback 17.5 times again in the Atlanta Falcons, that will make you a Hall of Famer. So we need somebody who can give us production right now. That's something we haven't had in a long time. Now, it wouldn't shock me to hear the Falcons trade down. After that, all bets are off. You could talk about Malachi Starks. You could talk the sinking of Mykel Williams is kind of weird, but seeing him go way down in the 20s. But if you think you can do that by letting somebody like Pittsburgh move up or some other team, I would love that as well. So that's my pick. I think Mike Green is probably the safest pick. I think he'll be there. and you'll see some teams kind of move ahead of the Falcons when you start talking about getting these quarterbacks. I did want to give a shout out to you, Chase, you, Phillip, you, Cody. I watch you guys all the time. I'd always tell you that, Chase, if I get a chance to. You guys are awesome. I appreciate you. Robert, I've been seeing you a lot. I agree with you way too much, so I know I got to pick something out with that. But I agree with somebody way too much. That makes me nervous. Scott, love your work. I disagree with you a lot, which is why that makes me more comfortable. But I do enjoy you, Lieutenant Dan. I know he's gone. Congratulations on the baby. Get ready for late nights. Rocondo, you know you the guy. Always. This is my first time ever seeing you, sir. Very nice to share the platform. God is good all the time. All the time, God is good. Y'all make sure y'all check me out on Uncle Steve's Lounge on YouTube. I will be there. Draft night. I know you guys know Tidy of Atlanta Bird Gang. We're going to be doing things on our channel. We'll peek in on everybody else's too.
Hey, Steve, we there, man. So we got to link up and get an interview in, man. I want to get a lot of interviews from you.
Absolutely, brother. Absolutely, man.
Oh, yeah.
Love this. Rise up, man. Rise up.
Glad to have you on, Steve. Chat, what a banger we just brought out to you guys tonight, man. It was an absolutely perfect show tonight. We've had some guests in tonight with different views, different aspects of what Atlanta Falcon fans have heard from DFU. Glad to have each and everybody that came through tonight, whether that was through the comment section, through the live, as a special guest, getting some feedback. I don't know where that's coming from, but if that's me, I apologize. I want to give a shout out to the wife in the next room that's holding down the fort with the two babies running around right now, so we was able to do the show. I want to give a shout out to my co-host Phillip, Robert, Cody, Rick that wasn't able to make it tonight. Shout out to all you guys that come on here and continue and keep the show rolling, man. Without you guys, DFU would not be a podcast. I want to shout out to the Atlanta Falcons Thursday night, man. Let's get this thing rolling. Let's select that pick at 15, Mike Green, and let's get this thing on the right track. Falcon fans, hit that like button, leave a comment, subscribe if you're new to the channel. Check out all the special guests pages. We appreciate y'all. We out. A-Town down. Check us out Thursday at the Mercedes-Benz Live. We out.